Hi, I'm Tracy Pierce. Today I want to talk with you about Bio Energetic Synchronization Technique and animal communication and how they work together. So, Bio Energetic Synchronization Technique, or BEST for short, it's an energetic healing technique that was developed by a chiropractor starting back in the 1960s. And he developed it, and basically, he was seeing in his chiropractic practice that people weren't holding their adjustments, and he wondered what that was all about. And so, through this procedure, we balance the polarities and the energy in the body. Now, there's a series of things that are involved. It's also kind of a vibrational healing when you do it on um, usually like age 5 or older. You do it on a human. You can have them think about a feeling, and there's maybe a certain eye position and a breathing pattern. But when you're working on infants or really young children or animals, they can't do those things. So there was a special way they adapted this best procedure to be done on animals. Now, I was certified in BEST in 2011, and I've had the opportunity to work with quite a few humans and quite a lot of animals as well with this technique. And it's really quite interesting in the way it can release trauma from the energy and from the body, and to really balance things overall and get the polarities lined up. It's really quite fascinating. So this is a technique that can be done in person. It can also be done at a distance. I normally do it at a distance. I use my handy dandy little teddy bear here to hold points in a certain order, and it has to do with the order of the points and which fingers you're using to hold the points to balance everything out. So a recent example of, like, I saw this really huge shift in the animal I was working with as I was living at a meditation retreat for a little while, and there were a couple cats that lived on property there, and one of them, he just wasn't seeming like his normal self. He's lived at this property for a few years, and some of the residents had made the comment that, something just seemed really off in his energy. And I tuned in with him and talked with him a bit about it. And there was, some information behind that he wanted people to know about. But he did request that I do this healing technique with him. And, it wasn't just a one-time thing in this particular case, but there were like 4 treatments that I did on him over the course of, I think it was about 3 days. And then when I would go in, it's based on muscle testing. So I would go in and test and tune in with him to see if he needed any more treatments. And after 4 treatments, this haziness seemed to be released from his energy, and he seemed to be back to his old self. It was really incredible. And when I've recently talked with people up there, it seems it's still holding. So really incredible things can shift with this technique. I've seen it in myself as well. So one other thing that, best, maybe you have an animal that has a serious illness or something going on. Now, it may not cure it. Sometimes animals don't want to be cured. I mean, we all have to die of something. I've heard animals say that quite a bit, actually. We tend to have a much different view as humans of the dying process than animals do. But after I had learned the BEST technique, over quite a short period of time, I think it was about 2 years, I had 3 cats die. And during during their death time frames, I worked with them with the BEST technique. And at that time, I was working with another animal communicator, and she was saying that the cat was saying, yes, this is really helping me. I mean, it's not healing me, like I'm not going to get better from this, but it did bring a certain amount of comfort and less pain to her as she was dying and going through the dying process. And so I've seen this happen with several of my own animals, and have worked with a few other animals who are dying as well, who it would just help them make the dying process easier rather than curing them. So, It's been such a blessing for me to work with this technique with animals and see things really shift like that. It's been really, really incredible. And I'd love to connect with you and your animal friends. Maybe your animal friends would like some energetic healing or have some traumas that could maybe be helped by using the best technique. If you'd like to learn more about that or connect with me for a session, I will go ahead and put the link in the information below so you can click on over, learn more, and schedule with me. All right, until then, take care and be well.